So right now, guys, I want to show you it's 12:38 a.m. in the morning. It's 35 degrees out. Got the heated seats, heated steering wheel on. And it's dark at my job, and I start back at 1 a.m. Now, so overtime is important. I got to tell you that for me, overtime, overtime is, very important. If you don't know me, I'm Larry of the No Regret Show. I'm a longshoreman. And right now, we're working on our new contract that we just got. And I'm going to try to stack as much money as I can. Because investing will not make you wealthy. I will come out and tell you that. A lot of people think investing will make you a super high millionaire and you can end up on a yacht and you can be living, a yacht life. The quicker you understand that investing is just a tool to preserve your wealth. Now, myself, I don't go super risky. I don't invest in anything crazy, speculative. People ask me, are you invested in meme coins? Are you invested in bunk coin? Are you in this coin, that coin? No. Myself, you do whatever you want to do. It's your money. I didn't help you make it. I cannot tell you how to spend it. My thing, that everything I've ever learned, and if you rewind to the beginning of this video, you will see I listen to a lot of audiobooks. Now, me, I like to listen to things. I can listen to them, and if I hear something, I can rewind it. I listen better, and I consume energy. I consume knowledge better that way. So if you like to read, that's your thing. My thing has always been audiobooks. Now, I'm currently listening to a book, Robert Shiller, Irrational Exuberance. And that's what a lot of people have these days. They think they could buy one stock, it's going to go to the moon. Now, the news will pump everything to you, okay? I never watch the news when it comes to things because they only tell you what's popular. You see, the news is there to program you to think that riches are right around the corner. They don't ever tell you the overtime money you make, pay off those debts, stack some money, invest some money. They don't ever say that. What they like to say is this thing is getting people rich. This CEO is always giving an interview of this company. If the company is really good and it has sound fundamentals, you don't need to have the CEO always touting it to you. They don't always got to tell you, this crypto may be, in an ETF, or this may be in an ETF, because they don't talk about past things that have went down and have crashed. Who remembers Cathie Wood? Who remembers Cathie Wood and her ARK fund? The ARK fund has underperformed the S&P 500. Like, it boomed during 2020, 2021, and then it crashed in 2022, and it still has not rebounded. Meaning people bought it at the top, and they're still holding on to, a fund that has high fees, and they're still waiting, for it to achieve those highs. Now, myself, on this channel, I've always tried to tell people your job is your most important wealth building tool. The more money you make, just because people make a lot of money, that does not mean they have a lot of money. I know people that make what I make. I work with them, and they're still paycheck to paycheck. I like to look at overtime like this. The money I make in my overtime, if I have debts, I'm paying that. I'm hammering that. The money that I make with overtime, I stack that money and I save that money. A lot of people, what they like to do with the overtime is they'll do one great week and then they'll take off days the next week. Or they'll do overtime for 2 days straight and then they'll take off 3 days. That's not necessarily overtime. Overtime is when you work your normal hours and more hours. Now, a lot of people, for some reason, I believe America has gotten lazy. America thinks there's some shortcut play you can do. And in reality, that's not how we got to where we're at. I live very frugal, very, very frugal. My girl is very frugal. Do we like nice things? Yes, we do. Do we like nice vacations? Yes, we do. But we save for them. Now, I'm not gonna be one of these guys, you know, I used to always say, oh, have no credit card, have no credit card. If you can pay your credit card balance off every month, you know what? There are perks to having credit cards. I have a credit card where we like to travel, and I put my gas, my car insurance, my groceries, our necessities on that. Then when we book vacations and hotels and flights, you get 4 times the points. But we have a CAN fund that when we take those leisure vacations and we're taking, you know, all those type of excursions, we pay for that when we get back home. A lot of Americans, what they do is they rack up a ton of credit card debt, and then they never pay those balances off, or they do the bare minimum at work. I'm tired right now. I'll tell you that right now. I got to work tonight. Then I got to be back in the afternoon, you know, so, you know, that's how it's done. And if you noticed a lot of my previous videos, a recent previous video, it's someone saying that he doesn't have a job, you know, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that, he's in the market. The market is just there to preserve your wealth. That's all it is. And the market's going to have ups, it's going to have downs. It's going to be a lot of stocks that will go out of business that these news will never tell you. A lot of stocks in the past that they touted, a lot of cannabis stocks, EV stocks, the high-flying tech stocks. They're not going to tell you that the companies that they talked about a year ago is bankrupt, 2 years ago, a bankrupt, 3, 4, 5 years ago is bankrupt. They're not going to talk about that meme stock that everyone was buying is down. They're not going to tell you that, like, even Bitcoin, people bought it at the very top and now they need other people to buy it. Like I said, if that's your thing, that's your thing. My thing is, you know, I'm 44. My girl's the same age as me. We want to have enough money where once we start, God willing, touching our 50s, we want to be done. Like, we want to be out of the workforce by like 60, 70, maybe even 80%, where I'm doing it now. I'm doing the overtime now. But, you know, I have a picture of our place in Aruba. I have, you know, pictures of beaches and all these places that we want to go. You know, I have them. When I wake up, I take a look at it. You know, like, it's like, you know, I have things in my car. I have, like, look, I have mantras that I read to myself every day, where Larry, stick to this, stick to that, don't ever do this, don't do that, stick to it. If you start talking to yourself and reading things to yourself, meaning you start reading these things to yourself every day, it will become habit. You know, I like nice cars, but I'm at the point where I've had every nice car I could possibly want. Is there cars like Porsches and all that stuff and M3s? Yeah, it's cool. Maybe I'll get a work project car that I can work on myself. But right now, having freedom is more important to us. You know, being able to wake up and say, you know what, I'm going to work the rest of this week, but I'm going to take the whole summer off. A lot of my subscribers know, if you're new here, you know, you might not know, I take summers off. I take the whole summer off and we travel abroad. We have we have Greece planned again. We're going to hit all different islands in Greece. Well, we've been to Greece like 3 times. Anybody who's been to Greece, there's so many different islands: Santorini, Mykonos, Pira. I can't pronounce half these islands, but we like to take the speed boats to those things, stay there for 2-3 days, and then backpack it and dip off somewhere else. That's our thing. We're trying to travel as much as we can now before, you know, Father Time sets in. A lot of people, when they get elderly, they don't want to travel. They want to be close to their doctors. They want to be close home, just in case something happens. And that's understandable. So, you know, it's important to be smart with your finances now. Overtime, I'm telling you, if you can get overtime, if you can advance in your job, when you do get that money, don't wage creep. Like, don't increase your life. Don't buy. It's up to you. But us, we're not trying to buy bigger homes. We're trying to, you know, start to get rid of stuff. We've already started getting rid of junk in our home. We're trying to really condense. We have other properties. We want to sell this home, live down the Jersey Shore all year round. And then, you know, when we're done with that, Well, we want to be snowbirds. When it gets cold here, like it is now, we dip off to Aruba. And then during the holidays, maybe we'll come back for a couple weeks, a month. And then when we have enough of the hustle and bustle here, we dip off back to the islands. A goal without a plan is just a wish. I've been trying to motivate people for years and just tell people it's never a bad time to start. There's always a good time to start saving, paying off debts, then investing. So I hope this video helps. I gotta get to work. I like to just sit and woosah for like 10 minutes before I go to work. I have a job where I'm up in the crane. I gotta be on it. I gotta be on it, moving containers. I got people's lives in my hands. I have to pay attention. And I don't have time to be looking at portfolios and looking at my phone. I got people's lives in my hands. I want people to go home the same way they came to work. I couldn't live with myself if something happened. Now, what I like to always say is this, okay? Now, you can do what you want, but when it comes to your job, if you do not like your job, maybe your job that you're currently doing you don't like, but there may be another position that you can advance to that could be better with more perks, more PTO. Now, when it comes to stuff like that, you can't be afraid to step outside the box. When you advance and you do start to get those extra wages, sit down, start right now. Okay, now I make an extra $200 a week or an extra $500 a month or $1,000 a month. Put that into a savings account. Put that into an account you've never touched. Do an automatic savings plan. Do an automatic thing where you don't even see it. We have accounts where we don't even see the money when it's transferred. It's gone. We're going to get a raise. Our life is not going to change much. That extra money is going to go into savings accounts, because what can go wrong will go wrong. Your transmission will blow the same time your kid gets hurt at school. You could lose your job the same time, a hot water heater breaks. That's usually how it happens. A furnace goes in the middle of the winter and you get laid off, or your job is downsizing, or they cut back on hours. So I've always tried to motivate people, help people. Hope this video helps. Best of luck to you out there. You can't predict what's going to happen. The only thing I could say is you can plan for it. Money does not bring happiness, but it does cushion the blow when things go wrong. Hope you made it this far. Think about subscribing. No regrets. Get it.